This flip video is going to be about culture. We're going to be studying many different types of cultures this year in my class, so it's important that we understand what culture is when we're studying it. So culture is the way of life of a certain group of people. The elements of culture are listed right here below. Language, shelter, what types of homes and abodes they live in, clothing, economy, religion, education, values and morals, climate, government and laws, recreation and entertainment. Entertainment here in the United States might be very different than that of in India, and we're going to be studying lots of different important elements of culture and all the different cultures we'll be studying this year. Some animation for your entertainment. Education is definitely a very important element of culture, especially because I'm a teacher. The development of the mind and character through study and training is what education is. We're having some problems with my smartboard right now, so I may be going back and forth between the two. Language is the spoken or written words, and it's human speech. There's thousands of different languages around the world, and we're going to get to know just a few of them this year. Shelter is something that protects from the weather or from danger. So you have houses and apartments and condos. In other places you may have huts and igloos, and we're going to learn all about different types of shelter this year. Clothing, one of Miss Boop's favorite things. Clothing, things worn to cover the body. I'm sure all of you already know this by now. The economy, the way that money and goods are used by people. Many different cultures have different economic values. We will be discussing them throughout my class this year. Religion is a system of beliefs that goes beyond human powers. Many times religions have one God or multiple gods. Values are ideals or beliefs that guide the way people live. Climate. We talked a little bit about this today in class. The usual weather that a place has. So for example, remember I talked about how in Boone, North Carolina, where I went to school, their climate had a lot less humidity than we do here in Raleigh. Government and laws. These are the rules made and enforced by the government of a country. We made up our own laws today for our own countries. Remember that from our Daily Spark. Entertainment and recreation. Something that is done for fun or relaxation. Maybe it's playing sports, maybe it's going to the movies, but it can be very different in different cultures. All of these separate elements are what makes up culture. And we have one more PowerPoint. Culture. Look at all the different countries that are represented. What is it? Culture, in a more dictionary definition, is the shared attitudes, knowledge, and behaviors of a group. It is the total way of life held in common by a specific group of people. So you can try to describe and think of some aspects of other cultures besides our own in the United States. For example, you think of people in Italy eating a lot of pasta and pizza. Ethnic groups are a little bit different. An ethnic group is a group that shares a language, customs, and a common heritage. Think of some of the different ethnic groups that we have here in the United States. Think about that right now in your head. For example, my family immigrated here, my grandparents, from Germany. and they speak German, and we have a lot of customs that are very German around the holidays. And so we do those things that are not as American as these customs are. For example, we usually eat goose every Christmas. That's a very, very different custom than some people here in the United States. Here are some other examples of ethnic groups. Mexican Americans, Asian Americans, African Americans, Middle Eastern Americans, Indian Americans. Lots of different ethnic groups making up our entire country and making it unique. Religion, as we talked about before, is an organized system of beliefs and practices often centered on one or more gods. How does religion affect people's beliefs and values? That's something we're going to be studying even more this year. Some examples. Foods they can or cannot eat. Some religions don't allow people to eat certain types of foods. They have specific traditions. The way they dress may be affected. And they have certain holidays that they celebrate. Language, as we talked about before, is the human communication. And it's written, it's spoken, or signed, such as American Sign Language. There's an estimate between 3,000 and 6,500 languages in the world today. That's a lot. Think of how many you know words to. Cultural diffusion is the spread of ideas, inventions, and patterns of behavior from one group to another. Why do people in Brazil speak Portuguese when every other country in South America speaks Spanish? How has American culture impacted other countries in the world? Having many cultures interacting can lead to new ideas and innovations. However, how can cultures interacting also have a negative impact? These are just questions for you to think about. You do not have to answer them right now at this time. How is the United States a melting pot of many different cultures? Your assignment to go along with this video is to write, not R-I-G-H-T, but write W-R-I-T-E. Please write W-R-I-T-E on a separate sheet of paper, at least 5 sentences answering this question. You can always write more. 5 sentences on a separate sheet of paper. This is the only part that you need to turn in. All those other questions are questions to get you thinking about this answer, but you do not have to answer those. Hope you have fun.